Tonight, the Friday night footy feature. All the highlights from Adelaide and Carlton. In Rugby League, North Sydney seek revenge against Melbourne. And cricket, it's on again. A Super 6 from the Super 8s. Hello, I'm Matthew White. Welcome to Sports Tonight. There's a few questions need answering tonight. Is Michael Jordan finally calling it quits? He won't say yet.
Right now, I've been divorced. You asked me when I'm going to get remarried again.
Will anyone beat this shot at the British Open?
Oh, thank you very much.
And where is Hidden Valley? All will be revealed later on Sports Tonight. But first up, footy in round 19 of the National Rugby League kicked off at North Sydney Oval tonight. The Bears seeking revenge against Melbourne. Back in round 4, the new boys from Melbourne surprised and embarrassed North Sydney. Tonight, the Bears growled back.
Last weekend against St George, the Bears were accused of lacking direction. Tonight, the offence was proven.
Oh dear.
But when the home side headed the right way,
The little captain's got it.
a forward making a welcome return from injury went straight to work.
It's opened up for Adam Muir.
For Melbourne, it was a case of no Lazarus, no Smith and no Howe, but a giant-killing reputation.
He's over the line. That's a try. Hill. And then across for Martin. The line is open and in they go.
2 first-half tries to the Storm, but illegal play allowed Taylor to even the score. 10-all at the break.
And grabs 2.
Norths lost Billy Moore early in the second half, while Melbourne lost faith after a forward pass went undetected.
That is just a tragedy.
The Bears then broke the deadlock.
Neutral score.
The Storm then broke the rules.
That's ridiculous work from Sears. He gets the stare from Nick Howe, who fortunately didn't want to go on with things.
And as Melbourne pondered a lopsided penalty count, the locals finally found their way home, scoring 3 tries in the last 12 minutes.
Now Taylor. A captain's knock, well done.
An impressive win there by the Bears. Jason Taylor featuring prominently, of course. The final score, 34 points to 10. Tries for Butner, Taylor, Morrison, Muir and Pethybridge for North Sydney. Now, at Ericsson Stadium, the other game played in the National Rugby League, and the Auckland Warriors stayed in the finals hunt. They had a heart-stopper. 21-20 they beat Balmain. They trailed 12-10 at the break, and the Warriors hit back with second-half tries to Tony Tutupu and Nigel Vagana. But halfback Stacey Jones then gave his side a vital 7-point break. But to their credit, the Tigers refused to surrender. There is some controversy, though. James Langaloa scored a controversial try, and it wasn't all good news for the Warriors. 3 players are placed on report. Tutupu, Quinton Pongia and Stephen Carney all face a nervous wait over the weekend, and Balmain's James Gannon is also in trouble. We'll get on to AFL now, and it was business as usual for the league tonight as players returned from the Origin break. The in-form Adelaide Crows hosting 15th place Carlton at Football Park.
A welcome sight for Adelaide, Tony Modra resuming from a long layoff, but he was forced to sit out the early stages on the bench. And while the Crows revelled in the return of their hero, Carlton made a slick start. But it was quickly marred by a stream of inaccuracies. The Crows swooped, clawing their way to a 25-point lead at the first break.
And cleverly goes. Beautiful check side kick.
After a quarter-time rev-up from David Parkin, the Blues managed to close the gap early in the second term.
Good kick, he's got it. Terrific goal.
Despite having their draw card on the field,
Modra's done well. Used the body brilliantly, Tony Modra.
the Crows couldn't stave off the rejuvenated Blues, who snared a 10-point lead at the main change.
Goals, he's third. Clever.
The Blues looked set to extend their lead in the opening stages of the third quarter, but led by none other than Modra, the Crows fought back.
He's back all right.
But their share of the lead was short-lived, Glenn Manton seeing the visitors 3 points in front at three-quarter time. The underdogs could do no wrong in the tense final term, going on to score their biggest win of the season.
And a great performance by Carlton, seemingly down and out after a dismal first quarter. The match going right down to the wire and the Blues causing a major upset, 105 to 101. Golf now, and Steve Elkington's British Open campaign has gone from bad to worse. He's forced to pull out of today's second round because of a neck injury. No injury concerns for fellow Aussie Stuart Appleby, but his game suffered on day two. Joint leaders Tiger Woods and John Houston have only just hit the fairways.
Wind and rain creating added hazards, while Aussie Robert Allenby found some of his own. Starting the day only 2 shots from the lead, Allenby soon fell away.
Oh, we've seen 1 or 2 of them fooled by that ridge.
The leading Aussie slipping to 4 over par by the 12th. With the wind transforming the ball into a hazard itself, Fred Couples turned to his short game to escape.
He's a master of it. Wonderful shot by Couples, and has a chance of getting out of this hole with a par.
But he also slipped up to be 5 shots from the lead by the 12th. A day of over-par scores providing few highlights. American Brian Watts the closest to breaking the trend on the 12th.
Oh, look out. Beautiful shot on this very difficult short hole.
It's early days for the overnight joint leaders Woods and Houston. American Brian Watts, as you just saw, he finished the day with a 69 and he sits at 3 under. Grant Dodd and Roger Davis are the leading Aussies. Davis improving on yesterday's round of 76 with an even par 70, and Dodd is yet to make his assault. Well, give us a minute, then we'll give you more sport right after this. It's just not cricket, but for Australia, 8 is enough. The Super 8's highlights are coming up. A Stuart O'Grady update. Nothing's changed from last night. He's still winning. All that and the supercars in Darwin still to come on Sports Tonight. Welcome back to Sports Tonight. Australian cricketer Greg Blewett has shrugged off his disappointment at being left out of the Test side to tour Pakistan by guiding the Australian Super 8 team to victory in Kuala Lumpur.
It's a game designed for big hitting, with almost more time spent looking for lost balls than in a game of backyard cricket. It was a chance for some of those Aussies left out of the Test side to prove themselves.
Out to the man at long on, and a very good catch.
Pakistan crumbling under the Aussies' attack, all out for 102.
Out.
Greg Blewett wasn't shy.
And that's almost hit with disdain.
He blasted boundaries around the ground. Captain Adam Gilchrist just as fired up, hitting 2 sixes to seal the win.
And that's another example. That's the end of the game.
Pakistan beaten by 6 wickets. It wasn't so simple in Australia's next match. India targeted the area for double points, so this 6 became 12, India reaching 124 all up. In reply, the Aussies threw their bats at everything, and in the case of Gilchrist, at anyone. This time they struggled to find the runs, but Gilchrist steadied the side and again scored the winner for a 3-wicket victory.
The Aussies won both of their opening day's matches. Ricky Ponting made 57 in the last game against India as the Aussies cruised to 126, and they're chasing their 3rd successive Super 8 title. Australian Stuart O'Grady still leads the world's greatest cycle race, the Tour de France. But it was a painful 5th stage. He fell in the wet conditions and he needed some treatment on the go. He stayed with the main group and managed to stay clear of a fall 50 metres out from the line, finishing 15th. The other Aussie, Robbie McEwen, 6th. Italian Mario Cipollini, 1st. O'Grady is 7 seconds clear overall. The Wallabies are waiting to the last possible moment for Ben Tune to prove his fitness for the clash with South Africa in Perth. The dashing winger will have a workout on his suspect knee just hours before tomorrow's test. The players lined up for an historic team photo in this AFL stronghold, and team doctors are hopeful that Ben Tune will be right to play.
He'll be okay, but I also know that if there's any chance that he's going to have any problems, they won't let him play.
Jason Little, who's also under an injury cloud, will have a fitness check tomorrow. For the first time, the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship travels to the Northern Territory this Sunday. The unveiling of Darwin's new track means every state now has a round of the V8 Supercar Championship.
The roar of the V8 Supercars can now be heard Australia-wide. This weekend's 9th round of the championship at Darwin's new Hidden Valley circuit completes the circus that now has a race in each state, and the drivers can't wait for Sunday.
The work they've done here, I was lucky to see this place 2 years ago, and the work they've done here, I would never have believed that they could do this amount of work.
Yeah, look, it's a fantastic track. You know, you get your teeth in it on the back sections and good long straight. It's going to make a great race.
They've done a fabulous job, they really have. I mean, there's a lot of circuits down south that could learn a few lessons from here, let me tell you.
The circuit just outside of Darwin has been transformed from an old drag strip into a first-class facility for the V8s. The highlight, the 1.1 kilometre main straight, producing speeds of up to 285 kilometres per hour.
Looks like there could be a few good passing spots, and I'm really looking forward to it. As long as we don't get any crocodile obstacles or anything like that, I think we'll be right.
And adding even more spice to the championship, officials have decided that title contenders Craig Lowndes and Russell Ingall must drive Holden's new VT Commodore for the remaining 2 rounds. Well, come Sunday, there'll be plenty of action both on and off the track. This is just one of 4 temporary pubs that have been set up around the circuit. Each will have their own rock band to keep the expected crowd of 30,000 well entertained.
He goes to Hidden Valley and finds a pub. Now, Formula One news. Former world champion Michael Schumacher has signed a new contract with Ferrari. It'll take him through until the end of the 2002 season. The German is still on track, of course, to win this year's World Championship. He's trailing McLaren's Mika Hakkinen by just 2 points. Racing of a different kind right around the country. The horses are on the track tomorrow. We've got Mark Reed's tips, so get ready, because here they come. Mark says, wait until the last for Sydney at Rose Hill, and it's Paris Duo, race 8, number 3. That's number 3 in the 8th. In Melbourne, he likes race 6, number 6, Quality Kingdom. And in Brisbane, Shalako is the tip. That's race 2, number 1 in the 2nd. The selection for Adelaide, race 2, number 2, Coxmoor. And in Perth, it's Windsor Court, race 4, number 13. That's number 13 in the 4th. And time now to check in with Billy Anderson from Sport Odds for the latest betting markets.
Now that the World Cup soccer's over, we can get some sleep, but there's still plenty of sport happening at home and overseas. Lots of interest in the Tri-Nations rugby, but injury worries to some key wallabies has made punters wary. Aussies $2.05, South Africa $1.75. After last week's performance, Matt Berg on $11 heads the ladder to score first try. Blanc is also on that line, and there are some of the other popular picks. On screen now is the Tri-Nations Series market. South Africa, they're the hot team at the moment, $2.40, All Blacks $2.75 and Australia $3. That could change dramatically after tomorrow night. To AFL and some tough games for tipsters coming up. St Kilda just shade Geelong. This is a good betting game, both supported. Melbourne $1.33 against Fremantle $3.50 and 22.5 start. We've taken some very big money tonight for the Dockers off scratch. Western Bulldogs $1.30 and heavily backed at that against the Lions. Toss a coin for Hawthorn Collingwood. Swans at home $1.40 against Port. Richmond and Essendon can't be separated. And in what should also be a close one, West Coast $1.60 against the Roos. In Rugby League, I never seem to be able to get Manly when they're on, but they started the week showing $1.50. They've been wound into $1.33 against Illawarra. Cronulla fancied over Penrith, as are Parramatta and North Queensland in their respective matches. Canberra very short, $1.12 against South. Brisbane just about unbackable.